You've probably seen this beautiful diagram in every personal finance textbook. It's the golden ratio of personal finance, the 50-30-20 rule. Gurus in suits draw circles on whiteboards with knowing looks. Spend 50% on needs, 30% on wants and entertainment, and save 20% for investments. And you'll have happiness, passive income, and retirement in Bali. Sounds perfect, right? Logical, structured, mathematically precise. You grab your calculator, pull up your paycheck, and realize this math wants to kill you. Because when you try to fit this beautiful American theory onto a real salary of $1,500 to $2,000, you don't get a wealth strategy. You get survival instructions for living in the woods. Today, I'm going to tell you something that makes successful success course sellers hate me. The 50-30-20 rule is a trap. It's a rule for the well-fed. For the poor, it's not just useless, it's harmful. It makes you feel like a failure every single month when your numbers don't add up. We're going to break down the real math of life. I'll show you why percentages don't work when your income equals the cost of living. And I'll give you a different framework, harsh, cynical, but functional. One that will help you avoid going insane from debt and start saving, even when it feels like there's nothing to save. On this channel, we don't build castles in the air. We grind through the granite of economic reality. Today, we're going to demolish the main myth about budgeting. We'll learn why Elizabeth Warren, who created this rule, never lived in a studio apartment, what inflation of basic needs really means, and why 50% of your salary won't even cover food and rent. We'll examine the strategy of absolute numbers that actually changes the game and understand why buying yourself a chocolate bar is sometimes more important than saving $100. Get comfortable. Grab your calculators. We're getting started. Let's calculate why the 50-30-20 rule breaks down against reality in 2026. The idea, as a reminder, is this: half your income on necessities, housing, food, transportation. Let's take the median salary we often discuss, $2,000 take-home. According to the rule, living expenses should cost you $1,000. When's the last time you saw a heating bill in winter? For a two-bedroom or even a one-bedroom with heating, that's $200 to $300. You've got $700 to $800 left. Transportation to work is another $100, leaving $500 to $600. To feed yourself for 30 days, that's $16 to $20 per day. You walk into the supermarket, grab milk, bread, a dozen eggs that now cost like gold, and some chicken. That's it, limit reached. But where's household supplies? Where's medicine if you get sick? Where's internet and phone service? Where's clothing, for crying out loud? You can't walk around naked. The 50% math assumes you have padding, that your mandatory expenses are only half your income. But in the reality of structural poverty, mandatory expenses consume 80%, 90%, sometimes even 110% of income. You can't squeeze water from a stone. If rent costs $1,000 and your salary is $2,000, you've already spent 50% just on a roof over your head. You haven't eaten yet, and you've already broken the rule. And now for the funniest part, the 30% category for wants. At this salary level, the gurus say, spend this on restaurants, movies, and hobbies. Are you serious? Someone who's economizing on pasta should spend $600 on entertainment? No, they'll take that $600 and move it to the first category just to avoid starving and to buy winter boots to replace the torn ones. And here we reach the finale. 20% for savings. You look at your empty wallet at the end of the month, see zero or credit card debt, and feel guilty. I'm undisciplined. I'm bad with money. No, you're not at fault. This is like trying to pour a liter of water into a 200-milliliter glass. This is a model error, not your personal tragedy. The 50-30-20 rule works when your income exceeds the cost of living by at least 3 times. In the U.S., where this was invented, this rule is for the middle class, earning $4,000 to $5,000. Applying it to a $1,500 to $2,000 salary is economic masochism.
It makes you focus on percentages while you lose touch with reality. There's another hidden enemy these formulas don't account for: the poverty tax. When you have little money, everything costs you more. You can't buy quality appliances, you buy cheap ones, and they break within a year. You can't buy food in bulk, you buy small packages that cost more per unit. You take out loans at insane interest rates because you can't make it to payday. And trying to save the sacred 20% in this situation is shooting yourself in the foot. Imagine you have credit card debt at 30% APR and you're putting money in savings, earning 15% to follow the rule. You're losing money every second. Mathematically, it's more profitable to put out fires first rather than build an emergency fund on a burning warehouse. So what should you do? Give up and spend everything? No, you need to throw out the textbooks for the rich and switch to wartime economics.
Forget about percentages. Percentages are for analysts. Live by absolute numbers. Step 1. Determine your survival number. Not 50%, but the real amount. Rent, minimum food, transportation, utilities, debt payments, let's say $1,800. This is your baseline. Accept it. Don't beat yourself up that it's not 50%, it's 95%, and that's normal at this stage. Step 2. The remaining pennies. We have $200 left. The 20% rule demands we save $400. We don't have it. Does that mean we shouldn't save anything? No. Save what you have. $10, $20, or $30. The point isn't the amount. The point is the habit and the psychology. When you save $30, you're telling your brain, I control the situation, not the other way around. This builds that cognitive resource. It gives you a tiny but real sense of victory. Step 3. Optimize income, not expenses. There's a limit to economizing on matches. You can't stop eating. You can't stop paying rent. The limit of savings is 0. The limit of income is infinity. I know this sounds like nauseating advice from Tony Robbins, just earn more, but I'm talking about something different. Your task is to escape the survival zone where 50-30-20 is physically impossible. While you're earning $2,000, your formula is 95-5-0 or 90-10, and that's not shameful. What's shameful is lying to yourself. Millionaires didn't get rich by saving on coffee or dividing their salary into envelopes. They got rich by increasing their income stream. But there's one nuance: psychological relief. If you live only in survival mode, you'll break. Your psyche isn't made of iron. So even if you have debts and even if money is tight, allocate yourself a tiny budget for joy. Let it be $100 a month. The Sanity Fund. Buy that shawarma. Drink that damn latte. This isn't a hole in your budget, it's fuel for your brain so it doesn't fly off the rails. A happy person with debts will pay them off faster than a depressed ascetic who hates the whole world. And finally, stop comparing yourself to tables on the internet. The authors of those tables don't have your problems, your parents, your city, or your inflation. Your personal financial literacy is what works personally for you. If you managed to save $1,000 this month and didn't take out a new payday loan, you're a rock star. You're a financial genius compared to someone who earns $1 million and spends $1.5 million. Start with honesty. Calculate your real cost of living, acknowledge that you're in a difficult situation, and start climbing out of it with small steps, not beautiful 20% leaps. I won't lie to you that it'll be easy, but I know for certain that self-flagellation for not following stupid rules won't help you. Cold calculation and realism will help. Join me, and we'll figure out money like adults.